If you don't have enough money saved for your retirement, like me and millions of other people, you're not alone. Welcome to the Wise Retirement Podcast. We'll learn how to invest, save, and earn more toward a comfortable retirement. Hi, I'm Angela Kay.
And I'm Reginald Thornton, along for this ride as well. Did you know that 20% of Americans age 50 and above have no retirement savings at all? Even worse, 3 times that amount are concerned that they don't have enough saved for a comfortable retirement.
Reg and I will talk with experts in their field, explore catch-up strategies, share success stories that we hope are inspiring, and learn about family wealth-building techniques that actually work. We'll also break down those complex financial topics into clear, actionable steps that everyone can understand and use.
Welcome to the ride, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining another episode of the Wise Retirement Podcast. I'm Angela Kay.
And I'm Reginald Thornton. We're here traveling with you on this financial journey. We are happy to have back with us today Mr. Kenneth Pressley. And today, listeners will learn the first steps to keep more of their money in their pockets before taxes come around, whether you earn extra income or just have a regular 9-to-5.
Okay. Yes, we're excited to have Kenneth back on the show. Kenneth is the owner of Pressley Tax Services.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed. And Kenneth, welcome back to the show. Before we dive in, could you tell the listeners a bit more about why and how you started your tax services?
I never really intended to get into the tax business. It was kind of just put on me. I started doing taxes really at age 16 when I had my first job. I thought my parents would do my taxes for me.
Right.
My father was like, no, sir. He goes, take this little W-2, go to the post office or library, get yourself a tax form and fill it out. Get a pencil, figure it out.
What I'm taking from your family as kids, that it sounds like you might have been tortured a little bit growing up. 16 with the business, which is another show, and now
Tough
your
love.
dad is like, I'm not doing those.
Tough
No,
love.
no.
I love it.
Yeah, tough love. We call it life preparation, okay? We'll leave it at that.
And I'm all right with it.
And so I didn't study accounting in college. I actually majored in sociology and criminology.
Wow,
And,
okay.
when I started working for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Atlanta newspaper, one of my supervisors, older gentleman, when they started changing the accounting systems and everything else, he could not keep up. So he used to say, hey, Ken, listen, would you do me a favor? Listen, I'll slide your extra bonus money, whatever. I just need you to do all my reports for me and handle payroll. To me, it was simple, okay? I started doing it. And
Right.
then we got a new clerk in our office. And we thought, she's the most wonderful person in the world. We didn't realize she was a plant from the downtown office. And so
Wow.
we kind of clued everybody in downtown. This guy wasn't doing the reports. I was doing the reports. So when, for lack of better terms, when the suits from downtown came to our office,
Right.
I got a milk crate, boxes. I'm like, let me pack up my stuff.
Yeah.
My
Right.
time here is over with. And they said, no, we want to bring you downtown. We want you to work in the accounting department. I'm like, I don't have an accounting degree. So they actually, the company actually paid for me to get my accounting degree.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. It worked out wonderfully. And then, I just started doing taxes for some of my friends and employees just to help them out. And then realized, I'm making, decent change just doing this a couple of weeks out the year. What would it be like if I did this full time?
Right.
And so with the newspaper industry changing, more people were no longer reading the physical paper itself. It was all going online at the time.
Right.
And so my department was in distribution. So I'm like, okay, I see the writing on the wall. So I took that opportunity to just say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do taxes full time.
Okay.
And so you've been
I like that.
Go ahead. You've been in business for over 18 years.
Well, actually longer than that. I've been in business for over 25 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you've been doing, so you left the paper business 25 years ago, or
Well, I was running my business just part-time for the first few
I
years.
see. Okay.
And then around 2007, 2008 is when I left the paper and went full-time doing taxes.
Let's talk about the different types of taxes. Can you tell us the difference between how various income types are taxed? So how are W-9 folks taxed? How are side gigs taxed? How is rental income taxed?
Okay, so
Self-employment?
we really want to look at is you have your standard W-2 employees. That means you work for a company and or you have your own company, you issue a W-2. Then we have what we call 1099 employees. That means they're not official employee of the company. They don't really receive benefits, or benefits are not paid for by the company. So their taxes are now their responsibility. That company issues them a 1099 about the gross wages received, and then it's their
Mm-hmm.
responsibility, all that on their tax return.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have some folks who really don't do either one. Their income comes through investments, either dividend
Mm-hmm.
stocks, partnerships, so on and so forth. Okay. The tax rates apply the same regardless of how you earn your money. Okay. Tax rates don't change. Tax rates based on how much money you make, not
Okay.
how and where you make it.
Got you.
And depending upon if you're a W-2, of course, you're having taxes withheld. If you are
Right. Mm-hmm.
1099 or you making money through investments, so on and so forth, your taxes, your responsibility. So that's when you need to really manage your books, what we call your day-to-day accounting. If
Mm-hmm.
you, for instance, you have an online business
Mhm.
and you publish a book, you're selling it online. Uh, and let's say you made $100,000 this past year. Well, if we don't account for your expenses, you're going to pay taxes on that $100,000, the total $100,000. Whereas if you
Right.
now kept up with your expenses throughout the course of the year, any travel, equipment you had to purchase, consulting fees, any accounting fees you had to spend, so on and so forth, even expenses for your home office, so on and so forth, those are now deducted. So for lack of better terms, if you made $100,000 off the sale of your book, but you had $60,000 in expenses, you now are taxed on that $40,000. The net is
I
what
see.
you're taxed on.
Got
And
you.
this is just kind of a simple scenario. There's still a lot more
Mhm.
involved. That's
Mhm.
about the simplest way you can put it. So that's why I always advise most of my people, if you're not using QuickBooks, some form of spreadsheet, some form of other accounting software, you really want to keep track. A lot of folks miss out.
As you were talking, I was thinking using the analogy of having a business, if you have $100,000 worth of book sales and um you get taxed on the 40,000 because you had $60,000 worth of expenses. How is that something that you plan for? Because I know when we go into these businesses, we don't think about our tax liability. We just think about making the money. So
Mhm.
how do you plan ahead of time for that? If I go out and I say, okay, my projection is to make $200,000, do I pre-plan to pay back 40% of that? Like how would I worry about that? Or how
Okay.
does that set up?
So depending upon how your income is coming in, if it's coming in as you sell your product, you have one of the spreadsheets I give to my clients. One of the line items is an allowance for income tax. So, for instance,
Okay.
it up top is going to show you your gross income. Then it's going to show you your expenses. Then right under expenses, there's going to be a line for tax allowance. Then under
Okay.
that line will give you your total true net profit. And if you keep track of
Okay.
that line for tax allowance every month, you either know every quarter this is what I need to pay in taxes, or if I want to wait for the end of the year, I now have a rough estimate what I will have to pay out in taxes.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Good example.
Yeah. And a lot of tax softwares you can use, or bookkeeping softwares, i.e., QuickBooks, they have the same feature in there. A lot of folks don't use it, but the feature is there.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you're saying a lot of the tax software already has that in there,
Yeah,
so you
bookkeeping
don't have to
software.
worry about creating it. It taxes you on base, whatever that
It'll tell
is.
you what
Yeah.
your allotment for income tax should be, yes.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
Mhm. Yeah, what about the common mistakes?
Common mistakes. Common mistakes, especially when you get to January and
Mm,
early February. Common mistakes are, one, people don't keep track of their tax documents. So as things are coming in the mail, i.e., let's say your mortgage statement, your W-2,
mhm.
if you have Robinhood account, so on and so forth. When those documents come in, people just put them anywhere. Or I put one on my desk. I put one on the kitchen counter. Find one centralized location to put all your
Right.
tax documents. If your tax documents are sent you via email, create a folder in your email account for tax time. So when they come in, move it to this folder. So when tax time, whether or not you're using a tax accountant or if you're using TurboTax, your stuff is handy. You're not looking,
Right.
scrolling, and then the process comes 10 times longer and you come 10 times more frustrated.
Yeah, taxes, the whole tax process is frustrating enough for people who don't do it regularly. For you, you look at it, you can hit the line items, you know how to run through it. But for people like me, and I don't know about Ange, tax season rolls around, I'm like, oh my God. But I will say,
Yeah.
when they come in, I just stick them right in the desk drawer. So I have them handy. Now, whether I access them as I need to, that's a whole different discussion. But it is handy.
Yeah.
So that said, do you have or can you share any real life examples of people or maybe yourself who paid more than necessary taxes because of lack of planning?
Yes.
Mm,
Um,
good
Huge number of my
question.
clients every year end up paying probably more than they need to. One, because they may forget certain items, especially folks who have some form of self-employment income.
Hmm.
You know, they're like, okay, they're not keeping their books on a weekly basis or monthly basis. I at least advise all my clients, do your books the last Sunday of the month. Take 15,
Okay.
20 minutes last Sunday of the month. Tell the guys it's football season, that period
And
between the 4 o'clock game and the
uh,
8:30 game,
Right.
do the books.
Right.
um, it only takes a short period of time. This way, because if you're waiting to the end of the year, you're going to forget half of what you've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may have traveled
Yeah.
to a conference. Well, you may now have forgotten some of the expenses you incurred when you traveled to that conference. You know what
That's
you
true.
spent for your airfare, you know what you spent on the hotel, but you forgot some of the other items that you had to purchase. Little things throughout the course of the year. Do I have to buy ink for my printer? Do I have to buy paper for my printer? You may forget that. So this is in mileage. We always seem to overlook the miles we drive in association with our business. That's
Mm,
huge tax deductions you could be missing out on. So those are things I always try to be mindful of my clients. Please keep up with these items. They're very simple items, but keep
yeah.
up with them.
they are simple, but what would you say for those who have receipts? How do we keep, what are your suggestions for keeping receipts that we get for our business? Maybe in a Google Doc? I don't know.
Google Doc, a spreadsheet, QuickBooks, once again, any form of accounting software is perfect. Last thing that you want to do at tax time is have a pile of receipts, and now you're trying to
Woo!
go through the receipts at tax time. That
That's
doesn't work.
that's me until I got with Kenneth. Yes. Full disclosure, Kenneth is my tax accountant.
Well, and look, and I'm glad that you got him. I was just sitting here thinking to myself, I might have to give Kenneth a
I
call.
am glad I got him. He has saved me a lot in taxes, and we'll talk about some of those here later in the show, of how Kenneth has helped me. But okay, for the audience listening, drop a comment in the comment section on, do you do your taxes monthly? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, I can tell you I don't. I don't know about the other listeners, but I will let you know that no, I do
I
not.
do not.
So can you provide a few strategies for legally minimizing taxes and protecting your income?
There
Not that you will provide any other illegal, but I'm just, I want everybody to know that this is the legal way to do things.
That's
There
right.
are a lot of things we can do depending upon what your business is making. A great thing to do for self-employed people is to start a SEP. A lot of folks don't do that. You can go through companies like Vanguard, so on and so forth, and create a SEP for pretty much a lot of people call it a self-employed retirement plan.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
so it works pretty much identical to your 401k does on your regular job. So you
Gotcha.
invest
Wow. Okay.
into the SEP, and now you are lowering your taxable income throughout the course of the year. So
I
that's
never heard of that. That's good to know.
that's a great one. I always tell folks if you have a financial advisor you're dealing with, sit down and
Mhm.
talk to them about the SEP. Is a great way to
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other things to do. I have some clients, where their business is making substantial money, and it's time for them to buy a new car. And if you're buying a car that is
Hmm.
6,000 plus pounds, you can
Pounds?
use the one. Yes, yes. So
You
that's
mean weight of the car?
your large SUVs, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. You use the Section 179 election, which will allow you to write off the total purchase price of that car in 1 year. So, for instance, Yeah, but once again, there's some caveats to that. A lot of people get
Okay.
excited about
Yes.
it, but first,
Yeah.
it's like,
Did you see my eyes go up? I'm like, okay.
Right, Reg. I know.
let's say you're buying an $80,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
your business doesn't have $80,000 in net profit, you cannot write off that full $80,000. So it's
Okay.
great for people who their business is making X amount of money. I can now walk in, I
Mm.
can buy this car, write it off. I've now taken my taxable income. Let's say I made $100,000 net profit
Right.
that year.
Right.
Now, because I bought this car for $80,000, my taxable income now was only $20,000.
20,000. Right.
Drop the gems.
Okay.
Dip right
Now,
there.
once again, another thing we have to be mindful of. I always tell my client, I ask my clients before we get to writing off the moon, because that's my initial goal. If I could write off a toothpick and a thimble, I will write that off.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Okay.
one question I always ask my clients within the next couple of years, do you plan on buying a house? Do you have another major purchase coming up?
Oh.
Because if we write off all of your taxable income, you can't qualify for a home.
Oh.
Think about it.
Ooh.
You made $100,000 net profit that year, but because
Yeah.
we bought the car and we wrote it off, your net income now is only $20,000. So what type of
Yeah.
property
Right.
you qualify for with only $20,000 worth of net income?
Yeah, that
So
won't look good.
it's a great thing to do, but you have to be mindful. Your tax strategy can't just be for this year and this tax period.
Right.
Your tax strategy
Right.
has to set you up for what you plan on doing over the next couple of years.
Wow. That's a excellent tidbit right there. You don't think that far in advance. You're just thinking, okay, if I can write off, I could, only be taxed on this amount. You're like, perfect. But
Mhm.
if you're trying to buy a $300,000 house, they're not going to let you do it on a $20,000 income.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Wow.
Good, good, good stuff. Huh.
Yeah, that is. It is.
All right. Wow. I mean, wow. What can we ask that will help the people for tax write-offs? We basically don't know all of the strategies, so I think drop a line if you have an accountant or need an accountant to give you these tips.
Right.
That's why I have an
Right.
accountant because of these things.
Right. Yeah, you absolutely need them. And given that bit of information, tax strategies and practical tips for because I'm sure there are, well, maybe or maybe not, but I'm sure there are different strategies for people who work regular 9 to 5 that you mentioned earlier with the regular W-2s, and then people who are um, self-employed and bring in their own income. So, what strategies how would they maneuver differently?
Well, once again, it's your job to participate and offer a 401k. That's the
Mm.
first place you can always start. If your job offers a 401k, I advise all my clients participate in that. Okay, because once again, especially if your company matches or has any form of match program, because that's free money you're getting. So you want to definitely do
Yep.
that. But just when you look at what your contribution is to your 401k, if you put if you may want to get $100,000, but you put 6,000 into your 401k, you now lowered your taxable income to $94,000.
Mm, mm,
So it's little things like that you can do, okay, that will mean the world. One thing I ask a lot of my folks is if they have a home, and you're able to itemize versus taking a standard deduction. I will now come back to what are you doing as far as charitable contributions? A lot of
mm,
folks leave money on the table because they don't give consideration to their charitable contributions.
mhm.
That could be your tithes and offering. That could be
Mhm.
what you donate to Goodwill, any nonprofit organization. We leave that money on the table. And if you're
That's
able
if
to
you own.
itemize, once again, the more you can itemize, the more you lower your taxable income.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
that's another
that's
little tidbit that folks really should take a look at.
keeping track of your charitable giving.
Yes.
Yep. For sure.
A
And
lot of times we do things and we'll get a statement from an organization. They'll say, thank you for your $200 donation. You
Right.
may have done that several times throughout the course of the year, but you never kept track of it.
Yep.
So
That's true.
that same box or envelope or where we're keeping our tax documents, when you receive those letters, they all should go in the same box or folder.
There it is. Well, I guess you would need them for your taxes. So
Yes.
yeah, that makes
Yes.
sense.
okay, so to recap what we've learned from Kenneth on this tax topic is one, we need to like put all our documents in one place when we get our taxes for like our what do we get? The W2.
W-2.
W-2, yep.
When we get all of those documents, make sure we're putting them in one place that we can get to them. Also, once a month, set up some type of tracking system, tracking your income, your expenses. It could be a spreadsheet, it could be TurboTax, but tracking it monthly
Well,
will.
QuickBooks, not TurboTax, QuickBooks,
Oh,
because you can
QuickBooks.
use the TurboTax at the end of the year to
Ah,
actually
okay.
file your tax
QuickBooks is
return.
okay.
You'll use a program like QuickBooks throughout the year to track, especially if you're self-employed, if
Sure.
you're doing any sort of gig work, you know, Uber
Mm,
Eats, DoorDash,
okay.
Amazon deliveries. That's when you really need to take your time and track your expenses, i.e., mileage, equipment, supplies. If you are
Oh,
an Uber driver, water, anything you supply, mints,
yep.
all those little niceties that the drivers provide, those are actually
Yes.
legitimate tax write-offs.
Does th- th- does QuickBooks or uh applications like that, do they um talk to the H&R blocks, the TurboTaxes, all the things, so you don't have to do that stuff manually? Do they kind of
You can interface
when it?
with them. Yes, you can.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
Okay, so got it. So, and for receipts, you can maybe take a photo of your receipts. Like if you're an Uber driver, Lyft driver, take a photo of your receipts, put them in a Google file folder so that you'll have them all. And once you enter your documents in a spreadsheet once a month, now you're able to set up your TurboTax or give it to your accountant in a nice package. Nice
Correct.
package. Kenneth has taught me that, I tell you. He actually provides me a spreadsheet, so I use that, which is very helpful.
clearly Kenneth is very valuable.
Yes, absolutely.
We try to
Um,
be.
yeah, so I'm a football fan, so every Sunday I can do it too between games.
Right. Spend 15-20 minutes is do what needs to be done.
Yes, I think it'll save us, and then it'll help us be more proactive and
Yes,
take some of these
yes, yes.
strategies and help us the whole goal is to pay less in taxes. That's the whole goal.
Correct. Correct.
So with all the information you've given us today, and as it relates to taxes, because taxes are very complex,
Mm.
what is the one thing that people should walk away from that they should do to get, to have a better handle on their tax situation?
Two things. One, preparation. Preparation is always going to be key. That's everything from saving your documents, taking some times, if you're receiving a W-2, take a couple times a year to review your W-2. Am I having the proper amount of taxes withheld? There's a tool on the IRS website at irs.gov. It's called the withholding calculator. I ask a lot of
Yep.
my clients, usually around end of July, 1st of August, take 10 minutes to use that withholding calculator. You fill in all your necessary information, take information off your last W-2, and then it'll let you know as of that date, have you paid enough taxes? So if by chance you have,
Oh,
you now have the rest of the year to start making adjustments. Either I know to start saving some money, put some money in savings account because I don't have to write a check to the IRS at the end of the year, or I
Mhm.
know
right.
let me adjust my withholdings now to kind of help offset this deficit that I'm in.
That's really smart. Yeah, I never heard that before. That is a smart thing to do. For sure.
There are
So
2
that,
schools
yeah.
of thought. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say there are 2 schools of thought on, taxes as a W-2 employee. You pay into it so that you'll get a nice refund, and there's the
Mm,
other school that says, "No, you pay just enough so that you have 0 to coming
yep.
in or 0 paying out." I'm of the school of, I want a big chunk of money, refund. What are your thoughts?
I am of the
Right.
other school, okay?
I knew it.
I don't want to give the government an interest-free loan, okay? Why would I let them hold on to
Right.
my money when I can get my money up front, I can invest it, and I can do some things with it, versus me waiting to get a refund, 'cause a refund is not a gift. A refund is you getting
Yeah.
your
Oh no.
money back,
You get
okay?
your money back. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So, I can utilize my money now, I can manage those funds. Now granted, you don't wanna do your withholdings in such a way that you're short and you have to pay the IRS a huge amount of money. But
Mhm.
once again,
Right.
if you use
Right.
that withholding calculator I mentioned to you,
Okay.
you can work it out where at the end of the year, I tell most of my clients, to be honest with you, if you're getting more than $1,200 refund, then you gave up too much money of your money throughout the course of the year,
What?
okay?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're in a situation where your income falls into one of the limits, like the earned income tax limit, where you're getting that earned income tax credit. So those are refundable credits. So those folks will actually get a large refund. But folks who are not
Okay.
in that income realm, especially if you're making more money, then don't give up too much of your cash to the government.
Okay.
So my barometer, if I go to this tool on the IRS website, my barometer should be $1,200 for if it's saying that I'm going to get that back, I need to make some adjustments so I can get it now.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I would do. And I'm using 1,200 as just a reference number.
Yeah,
Because let's say if you're paying an accountant and everything else, you want to know that, hey, my refund covered paying my accountant or any tax
right,
before I had to purchase, and I still have a couple dollars in my pocket for dinner, and something else.
right, right, right. Okay, all right, all right. That is what I will do moving forward because I'm going to look for that
Yes.
that tool.
Same here. Tax withholding calculator.
Yeah,
Yes.
calculator. Yes.
I've never been there. Okay, Kenneth, do you have any final words of encouragement for us who are either W-2 employees and side gig employees for tax efficiencies?
One, don't be afraid to file your tax return. A lot of folks are just afraid to file. The longer we wait to file, the more it's probably going to cost us.
Hmm.
Mm,
A lot of folks file extensions every year. I get hit with about 100 plus clients every year can file my extension. I have to
Mm.
remind them, extension is only extension to file your tax return. It's not an extension to pay if you owe something. If you owe
mm,
and have not paid by April 15th, by May 15th, you've already accrued interest and penalties.
Oh.
mm,
Yes. Now, if you're getting a refund, it doesn't hurt you, okay?
Uh-huh.
But
right.
if you owe, it will definitely hurt you not to file on time.
Right.
Good tip.
Well, look, that is a perfect tip.
Did not know
'Cause,
that.
yeah, I've certainly been in that boat before. So I know we did this on the last show, but give the people a way to reach out to you for tax information this go round.
For tax information, I have a website, PressleyTaxServices.com. I'm old school, so the Instagrams, Facebooks, I don't really use those very often. Okay, if you can try to
Okay.
reach out to me on those, I'll never see it. You can always email me directly at kbpressley@yahoo.com. And you can always call me anytime, area code 678-571-6622.
Thank you very much. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's episode with Kenneth, the tax man. And
Yes,
thank
indeed.
you so much, Kenneth, for joining us again to share your knowledge with us.
Once
Yes,
again,
I
thank you for
appreciate it.
having me.
Join us. We'll return next week for an action-packed episode. Stay tuned.
Yes, indeed. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, apply at least one of these strategies this month. Subscribe and check out our YouTube. Like, share, and comment below so others can learn too. And let's see, is there anything else? I think that might be it, Ange.
So, but if you have questions about taxes or anything, hit me up at angela@thewiseretirement.com.
Yep, and we'll see you next week. I'm Reg.
And I'm Angela Kay, reminding you that we're on this journey together. Until next time, take care.
Welcome to the ride.